Everybody, first I'd like to say thank you to all the new subscribers I've gotten over the last couple of weeks. It's been a while since I made a video, so I thought it's only appropriate that I make one after the election. So it is November 5th, really early in the morning. I'm on Eastern time zone, and I sat there and I watched the election tonight, and it was quite historic, and I was quite pleased. I haven't missed voting for presidential election ever since I was able to vote in 1988, and it was this was one of the few times, or actually I'd have to say this was the first time that I actually delayed it until, like, normally I would get up in the morning and go and vote. Being that I was off today, um, I would have done the same, and if it were a different kind of election. But I just pushed it off until the afternoon, um, and I will say that it felt very. I had butterflies in my stomach. To me, it was an important election. Uh, and a lot of people are focusing on I will say, and I give Obama credit that he isn't focusing on his race, but there are a lot of people that focus, that he is the first black man to get the office of the president of the United States, which I think is very historic, and it is an important footnote. There's no doubt about it. But that's not the reason I voted for him. And I truly believe that that's not the reason that the majority of the population, and it is the majority of the population as well as the electoral votes, voted for Barack Obama. Uh, I know a majority of the black people in this country voted for Obama, but and I'm sure some people it was because he was a black man. Um, but I'm sure there's just as many black people out there who voted for him because he is, in my opinion, the right man at the right time in our history here, and also agreed with the issues and how he stood on the issues. Um, Clearly, that was my motivation. Um, I think this is what I think about as far as McCain. I don't think McCain would have won the election. Um, I don't think he would have won the election, period. But I think he sealed his fate when he took on Sarah Palin as his running mate. Um, it gave him a nice little bump when he first named her his running mate, and she had that speech. But she wasn't vetted, and as you saw the campaign drag out, I think he was hoping to get the voters who wanted Hillary Clinton to be the nomination to swing his way by having a woman on the ticket, and I think it really backfired because she clearly um, was not the person that I think she did more to hurt his chances. Just simply on the interview she did, where she simply, it's not that she didn't answer the question correctly. I don't think she understood the questions. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Sarah Palin isn't an intelligent woman. Anyone who has gotten into a position where she is um, has to be have some a good head on her shoulders. But what I will say is that she wasn't. She just wasn't up to speed on uh, world events and policies, and it showed when she did her interviews. And I really think that hurt him in the long run. I think that hurt him, and he didn't get the Hillary Clinton voters. Now, this is what I think about what's listen, this is the good news and the bad news for the Barack Obama administration. And I'll start with the bad news. Bad news is that over the last 8 years, we had the national debt double from around 5 trillion to 10 trillion. Something that it took 80 some odd years to get to 5 trillion. The Bush administration has doubled in 8 years. We have the implosion of the housing market, the credit crunch, 2 wars going on. There's a lot of things. The dollar, the dollar getting weaker, our trade deficit. There's a lot of things that he's walking into that he didn't create, that he may get some of the blame if it doesn't improve over the next 4 years. That's the bad news. The good news. The good news is, can you do any worse than George Bush has done over the last 8 years? The bar has been set low. I'll put it to you that way. And there's only one way up, and that is up. There's only one way to go, and that is up. And you're following, in my opinion, the worst president, certainly in my lifetime, possibly the worst president in the history of this country. So I think, from what I see, that he's a very well structured, organized, and motivated person. So I think that bar being set so low, he should be able to jump it with not much of a problem. And in the next 4 years, we may be looking at a 2-term president, Barack Obama. But yeah, it was really nice going in there and voting on a day like today, because I've been drugged down emotionally over the last 8 years. Really. It shouldn't be this way. I mean, you shouldn't feel embarrassed because you were born in a certain part of the world. No matter where you're from, it shouldn't be what makes you. You should make you. You know what I mean? But the fact is that when you go other places, people know where you're from, and the fact that the president was so disliked in so many places, including his approval rating in this country, which is historically low. People look at you for the leader you have. So, it definitely takes a toll on you. So, yeah, I was very relieved to go into the booth today and vote for change. Let's see if we get the change that we've all voted for. But I'm very happy that Barack Obama is going to be the next president of the United States.